Good Thursday afternoon. It is September 28th. We're wrapping up the month of September, the peak of hurricane season here. A little handy-dandy little graph to show you the frequency of named storms, hurricanes, and major hurricanes. Category 3 or greater typically peak the end of August in through the first half of September. Really right around September 11th, September 12th is that peak climatologically. Of course, major hurricanes a little bit earlier than that, but we've certainly seen our fair share this September. 4 major hurricanes in just the last month. Here's a look at percentage-wise in terms of named storms by month. We see the highest frequency in September, obviously there. 34% of all named storms happen within that month. But a little bit of perspective here, we're only 2/3 of the way through hurricane season. We still have nearly a quarter of the named storms are picked up in October and November. Certainly not as active as August and September, but we still have some time to go. 2 full months of hurricane season before it wraps up on November 30th. Of course, all of this accounts for 97% of all named storms happen within hurricane season from June 1st to November 30th. There's that other 3% off-season storms that certainly do occur. We had one this year. Our first named storm, Arlene, happened in April, and last year we had Alex, happened in January. So it's not unheard of that we see those off-season storms. Here's a quick recap of the named storms we've had this year, 13 of them. And this, from Harvey downwards, has been September alone. 4 major hurricanes. We've had 5 major hurricanes so far this year, and that's the most that we've had since 2010. Been very, very active, especially just within the last 30 days or so. Thankfully, right now, at least, things are kind of quiet. Let's check how things have been in terms of verification of the forecast to what actually has happened. This is the National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service forecast. At the beginning of the season, they said, you know, I think we're going to have 5 to 9 hurricanes throughout the season. Of those 5 to 9, 2 to 5 are going to become major hurricanes. Well, we've had 5 major hurricanes so far and 8 hurricanes. Again, still a third of the season to go here. All right, let's talk about October hurricanes now, because you saw there about 17% of all named storms happen in October, so still a rather active month. And we've had 16 hurricanes since 2000, only went back 16 years. Category 3 or greater, 16 of those have been, so major hurricanes, and 4 of them have made landfalls in the United States. Most recently was Matthew. That became a Category 5 when it was down in the Caribbean Sea, but as it made landfall at weekend, but still a recent October hurricane just about a year ago. All right, also the storms out of season. We talked about how 3% of all hurricanes happen outside of that 6-month hurricane season, June 1st to November 30th. And a recap of all the months outside of the hurricane season. January, we've had 4. February and March both have had 1 single storm. April have had 5. May, 41, and December 22. That makes sense. The bookend months, May and December, having slightly higher totals there, leading into the hurricane season and on the tail end as well. So that's pretty interesting. All right, looking into October, you know, it's been a lot of traffic going on the Cape Verde forecast track, which is where we typically see hurricanes this time of the year happen. Have had a lot of them develop, and a lot of them have used up the energy, the ocean heat, which is what these storms use to fuel themselves. But still, there's plenty out there. We're still seeing sea surface temperatures up and over 80 degrees, which typically is substantial enough to promote tropical growth. Also in the Caribbean Sea here and the southern parts of the Atlantic, plenty of warm water there despite 2 hurricanes, Maria and Jose, moving through this general area in just the last 2 weeks, using up a lot of that heat energy. So there's still a lot there to go. We're going to have to watch closely what happens here in the next 2 months till we wrap up hurricane season. Out there right now, Maria, a tropical storm that's exiting quickly off the eastern seaboard, now several hundred miles off the coast. And we have Lee, still a hurricane. In fact, yesterday it topped out at a Category 3. That put it at the 5th major hurricane of the year. A check over by the Cape Verde Islands, which this time of the year is the breeding ground. Waves develop off of the coast of Africa. They hit the warm waters of the Cape Verde Islands area, and then they travel westwards. Right now, not seeing really any clusters of storms developing, which is some good news. But, there's always a but, right? We are watching an area of convection thunderstorm activity trying to organize itself just south of Cuba here. And this is one to watch. About a 40% chance of developing into the next name that would be Nate in the next 5 days or so. It's got a lot of things going for it. Wind shear isn't terribly bad, and also the warm water. This is an area that we haven't seen any storms in. So there's plenty of heat energy available there, and we'll watch it closely as it has that 40% chance of becoming Nate in the next 5 days. All right, that's the latest on the tropics. Kind of a short video today, but if anything develops, of course, we'll have a new update for you. If you want to join the conversation on social media, feel free. Find me on Facebook, Meteorologist Tim Pandajis, or on Twitter, 13 Tim Pandajis. Enjoy your afternoon.